I'm Dr. Connie Kerali, and before I tell you about the community that I'm building for remarkable women who've been silenced by shame, I'd like to tell you part of my story and my why. And please note that yes, I'll be talking about sexual violence from the very start. And for some of you, this may be quite triggering, so please take care of yourself as needed. So in the summer of 2015, I was drugged and raped by a man that I was dating. I remember blaming myself in the immediate aftermath, thinking I shouldn't have gone back to his place. I was petrified by the prospect of having to go to trial and the humiliation of cross-examination. And I also didn't want to put my family, my loved ones, through the pain of knowing what had happened to me. So I decided that it would be for the best to just stay silent. And that's what I did for the next 3 years. Then in September 2018, hearing one woman share her story would completely change the direction of my life. That woman was Dr. Blasey Ford. She testified in front of the US Senate Judiciary Committee that the then US Supreme Court Justice nominee had sexually assaulted her when she was a teenager. In her opening statement, she said, "I'm here today, not because I want to be. I'm terrified. I'm here because I believe it is my civic duty to tell you what happened to me." Her courage inspired me to report what happened to me to the police a few days later. Now, fast forward to the summer of 2024. And after years of therapy, I had started to reflect on all the areas in my life that had been impacted by shame. Shame being the belief that you're somehow flawed or not enough. From constantly trying to make myself smaller, to always wearing a wig to hide my alopecia, from the time when I was chronically single, thinking that meant that something was wrong with me, and more recently, to infertility struggles. And I wonder if any of you can relate to any of that. Or maybe you have your own shame story that's keeping you silent. Shame has this way of making us believe that we're the only one. In her book, Daring Greatly, Brené Brown writes that shame derives its power from being unspeakable. So I decided that I would share my story more widely. I would bring shame into the light so that it loses its power. And then I thought to myself, well, if one woman's story could change the direction of my life, what would happen if I was able to share thousands of women's stories? So in January 2025, I launched my podcast, Speak Shame with Dr. Connie Kerali. And today you'll find 25 inspiring conversations with remarkable women who have faced with overcome shame. From abortion stories to living with HIV, to life after prison, to surviving domestic violence. And then just last month, I launched the Storytellers Club, a private membership community for women to discover the power hidden in their stories using creativity and connection. So what would I do with the £10,000 if I was fortunate enough to win? Well, right now, I'm doing everything myself. From running the podcast, to managing a membership site, to writing newsletters, to creating membership content, and everything in between. All of this while transitioning out of my medical career. And what I've realised is that I can't scale impact doing everything alone. So I would use the funding to support and to provide me with the operational and technical support that I need, as well as that targeted advertising to reach the women that so desperately need this space but don't yet know that it exists. And with that time then freed up, I can focus on the women in my community, ensuring they feel seen, heard, and empowered. So as I draw to a close, I invite you all to imagine a world where all women have freed themselves from shame, owning their story, embracing themselves fully without criticism, transforming not just their own lives, but the lives of their families, their workplaces, their communities. There's a quote that I love in Annalee Howling's book, Unapologetic, and in it she writes, "There is nothing more dangerous to the status quo than a woman who has freed herself from shame." I truly believe this isn't just about funding a business. I believe it's about funding a movement, one woman's story at a time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much to all three of you for the courage that you've shown to pitch in front of such a big room tonight, and for applying even in the first place. It takes a lot of initiative. I would also like to ask my team to come up with the card that has shown the winner. This award, before I give it out, is sponsored by Monzo, and it is just yet another great example of how, when we work together from the bottom up to the top down, we can create real change. Now, I'm about to announce the winner. I'm very sad that it can't be all three of you, because you are absolutely incredible, but the winner of the £10,000 is Dr. Connie Kerali.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has supported me on this journey. Sorry, I feel quite emotional. Thank you also to Female Invest for this opportunity, and I'm so glad to have shared the stage with two remarkable women, and it's honestly my pleasure to collaborate with you in the future and to support you in the future, because I truly believe in the work that you're doing as well, and I wish that all the success in the world. So thank you to everyone who voted.
Give them all an extra round of applause.